So we talked about this Google Assistant thing. So next big thing is already here. Then what really is the next thing? I don't know how many of you actually know this Astro Boy, but this Astro Boy is very popular in Asian countries, in Korea and in Japan. Actually, Osamu Tezuka, he is the author of this Astro Boy, but just to look at the year. He created this feature in 1952. That is even before the Dartmouth workshop, Dartmouth AI workshop, Dartmouth summer project on AI, which was actually convened in 1956 by John McCarthy. John McCarthy actually invited 10 fellow scientists, including Herbert Simon, and they discussed about artificial intelligence, and many people said that that's the origin of artificial intelligence. But look at this cartoon feature. It was created in 1952. Actually, when I was a young elementary school student, I skipped a number of classes to watch this actually cartoon. And the good thing here is, here in this humanoid robot actually works for the human. This Astro Boy, and the interesting thing here is actually his name in Japanese is Densuan Atom. Densuan Atom means steel-armed atom. So he is called as atom, which means that he has an identity. Each atom has its own identity, and the author actually gives him an identity not as a kind of machine, but as a kind of living organ. And this Astro Boy was on our side. But I think some of you now watching the series 2 of Westworld, now they are airing this series 2 of Westworld. I was a big fan of this series 1, but this actually novel, the original play was written in 1971 by Michael Crichton, and some of you actually watched the movie actually starred by Yul Brynner in 1980. So long time ago, they actually made a movie with this script, and year 2016, they came up with this 10-episode miniseries, Westworld, and I think many of you like Anthony Hopkins. I'm a big fan of Anthony Hopkins, and he was featured as a Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford was the guy actually who created this humanoid robot. And the thing is, actually this Westworld is a kind of the amusement park populated by the humanoid robot. And suddenly, these humanoid robots realized that they are not human. They are not human. They were programmed to recognize themselves as human, but with this machine learning experience, at the end of the day, they realized that they are not human, they are robot, and the Dolores, the kind of the actress, the main feature there, killed Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford was the kind of the creator of these humanoid robots. So there might be a day would come that Westworld or Astro Boy could show up in front of us. So which kind of humanoid robot will come in front of us? Maybe the answer is we don't know yet. We don't know yet. But let's see how these guys are saying. I think many of you recognize these books. The first book is Machine, Platform, and Cloud, written by Andrew McAfee and Eric Brynjolfsson. And this is the third series of books. I think some of you already read the previous books, the Race Against the Machine and Second Machine Age. I'm a big fan of these two authors. Actually, I used this book in my class. And when you look at these three books, the Race Against the Machine, Second Machine Age, Machine Platform, and Cloud, you could see the change of the ideas. These two authors realized that they were wrong when they wrote the previous edition of the book. So things are moving very fast, and some of you are maybe the friend of Tim O'Reilly. I'm a big fan of him too. He actually created this concept of open source, and last year he wrote this book, WTF, but it represents that what's the future, and why is up to us. You will be fascinated by reading this book. This book talking about this whole platform economy thing. And you know this blockchain revolution, John Tapscott. This guy actually wrote the book about digital economy about 25 years ago, 30 years ago, something like that. Then he came up with this book, Blockchain Revolution. And you know the Kevin Kelly, always visionary Kevin Kelly wrote the inevitable. What these guys are saying? These guys are saying that, yes, we don't know whether we could reach technological singularity. So we don't know whether we will have this kind of robot like Astro Boy or the humanoid robots in the West world. But what we know is actually things are moving very fast, and then we could make changes, differences. People can make differences. That's the reason why Tim O'Reilly said it's up to us. That's the reason I think we are gathering here together today and discuss what could be done through this artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. And to me, the key critical point, which actually leads us to develop a robot, something like Astro Boy, rather than the humanoid robot in Westworld, is the collaboration between all parties, not just the engineers and scientists. All parties, civil society, governments, academia, international organizations, we all need to work together. Just imagine this one. There is a kind of brilliant scientist here, somebody like Einstein or Thomas Edison. He has this brilliant idea and he designed an algorithm. He believed that this is the best algorithm that could work for the whole human beings. But how can we sure that that is good for the whole human beings? Even though Einstein himself or Thomas Edison could be a genius guy in making this kind of algorithms and science, that does not guarantee that he could understand the value of all human beings. So that's the reason nowadays we emphasize the importance of ethics in the designing of algorithm and designing of all kinds of softwares. And for that, we need to incorporate all multi-stakeholders to listen their views and let them know what's going on here. So last week, actually, in ITU, there was a second AI for Good Global Summit. And in the OECD, we had this AI intelligent machines and smart policies workshop. And when we actually started in the OECD, not we, because I'm just chairing the one committee, I do not represent the OECD, but when OECD started this Going Digital project, they launched the project together with G20. At that time, Germany actually held the presidency of G20. So currently, Argentina is the host the G20 presidency. G20 also works in this AI thing, and you know that the IEEE is diligently working on these ethical issues in the designing the artificial intelligence algorithms, and United Nations is working very hard on this blockchain and AI thing, and you know the industry, this AI partnership on the partnership on AI includes all major corporations, Amazon, Google, Facebook, IBM, Microsoft. Now actually they have more membership in this initiative, and MIT and Harvard, Berkman Center, or academia, the academic institutions also work on this one. I'm not quite sure that might be enough, because when you look at all these institutions, we may miss these consumer organizations. At the same time, what it means is the opinions of individuals. Individuals who could not be included in these organizations or even in the consumer bodies, they do not have any chance to represent their view on this artificial intelligence and blockchain, which will eventually transform their lives. So we have to build inclusive framework to discuss about this artificial intelligence and AI. So, thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Wonki. I should also say it in Korean. 감사합니다. That means thank you in Korean.